Up YouTube, it's your boy once again, Paulus Harris, aka the Environmental Terrorist, coming at y'all once again live and correct. Super Bowl 52 next weekend. We got the Patriots and the Eagles in the big game. A rematch of 13 years ago. I said this in my previous show. But the thing about this particular show I'm going to put out is that those that think that they can predict shit with whatever bullshit system that they have. And I'm talking about two people in particular. The RFG, the chosen one, and Zachary Hubbard. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you. I actually I subscribed to Zachary Hubbard. The other guy I haven't. But for the most part, I do listen to a lot of. Well, I ain't gonna bullshit, I don't listen to a whole lot of what he says. I really don't listen to a whole lot of what Zach says. Although I may have subscribed to his channel, if I actually have gave him information at least one time when he was actually with the whole Jackie Robinson thing, and I told him about, really, this is what the fuck we do now. Sorry about that. But the thing about it though is that I gave him some information about Jackie Robinson. I told him about Moses Fleetwood Walker being the actual first, and then we actually kind of conversed and all that kind of stuff, But my thing is all this stuff about the numbers. People dying about the numbers. Okay, people die about the numbers all the time, regardless of what so-called system is out there. Now, there's always a system. Whether it's the system that these people use, or whether it's a system that a lot of people actually really don't understand. There's always going to be a system out there. Right? But the thing about it, though, when people sit up here trying to predict shit, right? Whether you right, whether you wrong, right? I think a lot of times, there's some things out there that you might just say, okay, well, we gonna leave well enough alone. We're not gonna bother with that. Because it's for first and foremost, it's something that we really, or they really can't grasp. You actually really stop and think about it for a minute. Right? Yes, I know about the whole Masonic order, Masonic rule, or whatever. I get it that, you gotta be okay, well, some stuff out there that you can say, okay, well, why this number, why that number? Okay, I got it. I think sometimes, I think sometimes it could be just for the simple fact because, damn it, it's because that's how I set it up to be. And when I say I'm talking about the Creator himself, Yahweh, Allah, Buddha, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? But the thing about though is this. The way that stuff operates and why it operates. Just know this, if you actually truly believe in a supreme being, right? Just know that however shit operates, it's because, damn it, that's just how he wanted it. Ain't no goddamn sacrifice of people. I mean, but then again, it could be sacrifice of people. But the thing about it though is this. Just know that it wasn't because of what the fuck somebody in Hollywood said, or the White House, the mafia, or whoever the fuck that you actually really think that they think that they got control of some shit. That ain't the case. So the whole thing about now I will say, well, look at it like this, people. Anything that happens, regardless of what industry that it falls up under, right? If somebody can actually really, excuse me, that right there should tell y'all how I feel about this shit what I'm talking about here. But the thing about it though is this. I think when people sit up here and call themselves gonna try to predict some shit, just like this Super Bowl that happened, just like say the two people that I mentioned, one motherfucker sit up here and said, well, it's gonna be the Jaguars and the Vikings, which I'll be the first one to tell you that probably would have brought in a lot more ratings, more so than another doggone Tom Brady Super Bowl that he's gonna win. Right? Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and do no shit by the numbers. But or at least like how those two people do shit by the numbers. But the thing about it though is this, I look at it like this. Super Bowl 30, Cowboys and Steelers. Charles Haley, since the Super Bowl era, was the first person to win 5 rings. But he did it with 2 different teams. So now, Brady comes along, and then he's won all of his rings with 1 team. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, out of all of the football players, professional football players by position, we can actually really stop and think about this for a minute, right? If you look at all of the football players that have played by position and what they did for a team, right? To win a Super Bowl is one thing, but to actually really get traded and do the exact same shit for another team, that's actually really saying something. Right? So, for those that have actually did it, Charles Haley being one, Peyton Manning being another. Right? I look at it like this. If you can do the same shit what you did with another team and win a Super Bowl, guess what? You special. Tom Brady, on the other hand, he has done it with 1 team, which he don't know no other system. Right? Now, not to say that he probably couldn't convert over to another system, but it's just for the simple fact, hey, he did it with 1 system. Great the fact he really didn't have the necessary tools, or the elite players, how it was like with some other teams, right? But the thing about it though is this motherfucker still won. So for that right there, that should tell you something. That this shit is fixed. Because I look back at the Broncos and Seahawks game. Well, Peyton Manning actually really broke the record for us touchdown passes. This motherfucker threw for 50 touchdown passes. You get in the biggest game of your life and you can't get it in the end zone 1 time? What the fuck is wrong with that picture? So yes, the NFL, sports in general, all of this shit is fixed. And it don't actually really have to. You don't really have to go by the numbers to know that this shit is fixed. The only reason why now, I will say this. Come next Sunday, Brady will put on that sixth ring. Why? Because of white supremacy, or so-called white supremacy. Had Charles Haley not won that fifth Super Bowl ring. Let's think about it for a minute, people. If Charles Haley with the Cowboys in Super Bowl 30, right? If you actually really want to go by the numbers, then look at the number 30. Okay, but the thing about it though is that had Charles Haley not won that fifth ring with the Cowboys, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. Charles Haley. Tom Brady would have retired last year. Because you got to think about it for a minute. With the Super Bowl last year, he already He already outdid Ted Bradshaw, Joe Montana. So for the most part, what else did you actually really got to prove? But then again, you have to actually really stop and think about it for a minute. Okay, well let's look at all of Tom Brady's Super Bowl wins. 2001 with the Rams. Okay, we all know what the fuck happened. The Twin Towers happened. Hey, it is what it is. So, and then I think they beat the Carolina Panthers. I think that's when the country actually really went to war, or the war started, or whatever. I mean, I didn't take notes on this, but the thing about it though is this. If you actually really look back at a lot of these Super Bowls, on who won, on what team won, and why, then you could actually really understand how this shit works. We know that 9/11 was a bullshit job, just like Hurricane Katrina was a bullshit. I mean, everything that, you actually really stop and think about for a minute. Okay, a lot of this shit is bullshit, man-made, whatever the fuck that you actually really want to say, right? But I will tell you this much. Unlike the two that I just mentioned earlier, right? I don't sit up here and be like, okay, well, so-and-so is going to win, and this is why. I mean, I think I did it one time with the whole LeBron James thing, but I don't actually really focus. Every time I do a show on YouTube, I don't actually really focus on who's going to win what and why. I can sit up here and tell you why. I can just sit up here and tell you a whole lot of shit on a lot of stuff that actually really goes on. I actually really give you my view of it. But for the most part, anytime when you sit up here and you start predicting shit, you start sounding like them ignorant bastards that sit up here and say, oh, well, the world is going to end on such and such a day. Just like the shit the other day. I saw some shit, the end of the world was supposed to end yesterday. But, hey, this is the 25th or the 26th, so we all still here. But the whole thing about the end of the world is this. The end of the world happens every day for a whole bunch of people. So, for the most part, now if somebody was to say, I think today is the 26th. So let's just say tomorrow, which should be the 27th. So let's just say tomorrow, January 27th. I'm gonna make a prediction right here. So tomorrow, come January 22nd, a whole bunch of people. Well, let's just say this. let's say that 1.2 million people die tomorrow. And then let's just say that with the 1.2 million people that's going to die tomorrow, let's just say that another 2.4 million people will be born. Now, that's just some more off-the-wall bullshit numbers that I just came up with. But let's just say for shits and giggles that that shit actually really happens tomorrow. Does that make me a goddamn guru? Does that make me that I know what the fuck I'm talking about? No, it don't. So, for RFG, the chosen one, Zach Hubbard, hey, look, I'm subscribed to your channel. RGF, the chosen one, I will subscribe to your channel. And all what the fuck I'm gonna do is probably just like watch, look back, and laugh at some of that shit which I actually really put up. And please don't come at me about like, oh, well, you don't know what the fuck you talking about and all that kind of stuff, because I can tell you something about that whole goddamn gematria shit. You know, you go off of the motherfucking English alphabet, which is 26 letters. Well, if you know any goddamn better, just know that, hell, the original English alphabet, I think, only has motherfucking 13 letters. The Jewish or the Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters. So where did the 26 come from? Plain and simple. So hey, it is what it is. So once again, this your boy, Apollos Harris, aka the Environmental Terrorist. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, tell anybody. Hey, subscribe to this channel, because this is where the fuck is at. And I'm out.